want some, get some, bad enough, take some.
Hello and welcome to episode 99. Is it 66 or 99? This is 99, Raymond, right? 99. Like, 99 of Fanging and Banging with Gangrel. Missing in action, Nikki Blackheart. A little under the weather today. She's been missing for like 3 weeks because she wasn't out in Vegas. And we had the, Raymond, Fanging and Banging with Raymond, Shady Ray over there in the dark over there doing
here today.
all the whispering and the quiet and stuff like that, talking about the third eye and opening up something and something. He actually might have poisoned me with some kind of drops today because my feet are going numb and then I got a headache in the back of my head. Enough bad luck this. I don't know if it's bad luck, but I had enough going on this past week and two here. So so she's MIA, not feeling well. So we're sending her some well wishes and maybe we'll catch up with her at the Miami Zoo this weekend. I don't know. Man, Raymond, like. When's the last time I saw you? Vegas, right?
Yeah, Vegas.
So we've had what? A Simbodi episode came out. That was what, 97?
Yep.
And then the Tom Devlin interview, right? I just dropped with talking about the After Dark. That was 98. So here we are with 99. And then we got, what, 100 episode coming up.
Yep.
We doing anything special for that 100 episode?
It'll be a secret.
It's going to be a secret.
You gotta wait till the 100. You gotta make it there.
Is it a secret to me too?
Yeah, of course.
Because I don't know. But 100 episodes. I would have never thought I made 10 episodes. And I want to say thank you to everybody that's... and in my head, I don't think anybody listens to it. I say this all the time, but every weekend I go out on the road, even in Scotland, where I was this past weekend in Scotland over in the UK, and somebody listens to it. You know, it might just be one, or it might be 10 people I run into in that area, but somebody's listening to it, so I want to say thank you to everybody that's out there listening and supporting. You can go on there and like and subscribe. According to Raymond, we need more. Well, not Raymond doesn't really care. He just likes doing this out of the passion. But I need some more likes and subscribes on there to boost my ego to keep me wanting to go, and or keep fanging and banging and rolling with the punches on this here. But yeah, Raymond. So Vegas, so much has gone on since Vegas. Like, where'd I go? I went from Vegas to. I had to make up a show. I had to go to. It was in Michigan. And I'm not happy. I wasn't happy about this from the get-go. So I don't know if I took bad energy in with me towards this show or not. But originally, I was booked, and then CCW came to me, where I work. I run their training facility, and they also run championship wrestling from Florida, CWF. And they said we're gonna do a CWF show. And I had just took this booking like. I mean, I had already knew what we were doing CWF, and I overlooked it. So it was kind of on me a little bit, but. I was going to go do the Michigan booking because I was worried about the CWF booking. So it turns out I canceled the Michigan booking and said, all right, I'll make it up to you. I'll take a cut and pay, get the flight money back to you, and make everything good. And I never really do that. It's very rare for me to do that. And it turns out, I hope it doesn't become a thing, but it's rare for me to do that. And as soon as I do that, a week or two later, they decide they're not running CWF. They're going to work with NWA. So, like, I already got my panties in a twist now. I'm like, come on, man. Like, I gone through this, and now I got to work. Like, so whatever, I sucked it up. Did that stuff with them with the NWA. I wasn't super thrilled about any of it. They didn't run CWF until the next week. But I got through that all, and I thought, okay, man, I got past that. But then time came to make this show up, and I had to go to Michigan. So, I get up there. I'm not thrilled of match choices and opponent, and a lot of things. But you make the best of it. You love wrestling. You do what you do. You go out there. You do the best you can. You get to see the world. I get to do it every weekend. I'm blessed. Every weekend I get to slide into my wrestling boots and go perform in front of the great fans around the United States, around the world. I've been traveling, all over the world lately, and I'm still doing it at 55. So I'm super blessed. So I got to try not to have a bad attitude about things. But then so I go there, but then I get my pay, and it's like short of the flight, short on the money, like everything. I go, this was that show. Yeah, that's right. It all came back to me, like just everything. And I'm like, So, but I get through it and I get home. As I'm flying home, my face starts hurting. And I'm like, I don't know. I feel like I got a gnarly toothache. And then I land in Fort Lauderdale, and I go, man, that hurts. I get a message from Eddie Valentine. He goes, you got any antibiotics? I got a really bad tooth infection. I'm going, I bet that's what I have. it feels like I got a tooth infection. I'm like, man, this sucks. And I couldn't really help him out because I didn't really have antibiotics for teeth, which would be like an amoxicillin or something like that. But I said, I better go to the dentist and see about this possible infection I might have, because the pain was really bad when I was landing. And then Monday morning came around. This was Sunday night. Monday morning came around, and the pain was even worse. I was like, what the hell? So I got a quick appointment with the dentist. I go on the dentist, and they're like, well, it sounds like your tooth's fractured. I said, I didn't do anything. I gave a guy a Russian leg sweep, which the dentist had no idea. She's a lady, a nice Cuban lady. Like, I don't know what you mean. Is this your wrestling move? I go, yeah. And I go, he took a crappy bump. He fell over. It was like, it was like a bless his heart moment. Bless his heart. But I was like really upset. But I think his shoulder hit me in the face. It was just a really awkward movement, because on a Russian leg sweep, you come in, you hook the legs, you bend forward, and you both go back, and you both land on your back clean. 4 feet, 2 legs, 2 set of legs up in the air. Well, his feet didn't leave the ground. He kind of went to a side and everything. So somehow he collided, his shoulder or something collided with me, and he's under me going, my shoulder. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? like, what is going on here? You know, like, and that was all part of that show. So I like, just get through the show, get home. Everything's going to be up. But now I get home, now I'm in the dentist, and they're saying, you possibly have a fracture. We got to get x-rays. And they do the x-rays, and it's a fracture. And I'm like, oh. So they don't know if they could save it, but because I was flying to Scotland on a Thursday, they couldn't pull it. Not that I wanted to lose another tooth, but they said the fracture was so bad they didn't think they could save it. But because I was flying, I opted the option to try to save it with a root canal, because they couldn't pull it like that point, and I was in a lot of pain. So I did a root canal and a crown. So that's like $2,000, like $2,005 or something like that. I'm like, so not only did this show cost me a flight I had to make up, lower pay, this and that, a headache, and now I got a tooth issue, $2,000 more into doing a favor for somebody. That's why I just don't believe in canceling, doing any more favors anymore. But so I think that's behind me. I think life is good. So I go off to Scotland. Great trip. All good in Scotland. Easy show, easy 6-man, great fans, treated well. Everything was good. Scotland was aces, you know. It's always great to go over there. I was up in Aberdeen. It's like the city of granite. They call it the Grey City. They got the P&J Live Arena there. I wasn't in that. I was in a small hall, but it was full, building full. Beautiful day, beautiful weather. Couldn't ask for a better trip in Scotland. Fly home. Flights are on time. I get home. I go to class Monday, Tuesday. And Tuesday night I get home. And I get ready to go to bed. And I sit up in bed. And I think I put the Yankees games on. The Yankees are playing, you know, like gotta watch the New York Yankees play, right? A Florida boy, born and raised here, but I gotta watch the Yankees play. So I go to sit down, and literally my teeth fall into my lap. I'm like, my front teeth. I'm like, what the flip? I'm kind of freaking out. I'm like, what is going on here? And just like, what the hell? And I look at it. The tooth's all bad and broke. You know, I'm like, this is a gnarly looking tooth, and it was a bridge. You know, so I had a bridge. So I was missing a tooth from way back from with Too Cold Scorpio in a match where he did a spinning leg drop, landed on my face. And then I followed up giving him a German suplex. And this is when the fangs are permanent and the whole root and everything came out. He blames my German because my fang stuck in his ass. I blame his leg drop because I was already bleeding from the mouth and teeth from there. So, you know, either two wrongs, lost a tooth on my end, you know. And he said he went to Japan with Too Cold Scorpio said he went to Japan with an infection in his ass from my tooth. I think he made that. I think he had an infection in his ass from something else. But ultimately he did that spinning leg drop. It landed on my face. I've been landed on worse, but I was bleeding from the nose and mouth. And then I followed up, and this is back when I was doing tiger suplex and German suplex. So when I hit the German suplex, my fang, I hit the bridge, but my fang was in his ass, and the whole root and all came out. And when the whole root and all came out, I didn't know what to do because it was a fang was on it. So if you could picture a bonded on fang, this is when I had the fangs permanent. It was bonded on the tooth with the whole root. Like a dentist, when I showed the dentist, they said they couldn't have pulled it cleaner. But it was just the whole thing out. So I think the impact there, and then when I did that, it was just a weird freak of nature thing. And didn't snap or anything. The whole tooth was just extracted out of my mouth. Like, so on that side note, with my tooth in my hand, I was riding with Jim Neidhart and I think it was Paul Casati. This guy Paul, both rest in peace, you know. But I'm being a rookie in the car to Jim. I'm like riding around, and they didn't want to take me to a dentist. Like, so I said, I think I could save my tooth. I think I don't know if you should put it in milk or some weird wise tales. I don't know. But I'm going, this is a clean pull. I think I could probably get this back, do something, you know. And they're like, shut up, kid, you know, whatever. They're riding around, partying and looking for shit or whatever corruption they were up to that night. I'm like, we drove around. This happened in Reading, PA, at Damian Kane's. Damian Kane had a place he ran shows in Reading, Pennsylvania, and somehow we're in Baltimore, Maryland the next day, and I showed up with no tooth. But whatever. Long story short, when I finally went to a dentist, I showed them that, and they go, "If you would have just came right to a dentist, emergency dentist, we could have saved that. We saved that whole thing." But that's how I was missing a tooth, and that's why I had a bridge. And so to get to where I was heading with all this, apparently, so I go to the dentist, and they go, "Your tooth's broke. That's why the bridge has got to be all redone. We got to pull this tooth out." And so that was another $4,000. So this is all temporary now, from here to here. Now I have a 4-tooth bridge over here. Like, so, and with this tooth here, so that was 4, this is 2. So that trip basically cost me a flight, lower pay, and $6,000 in dental. Like, never put something off as a favor to anybody. Like, it's just gonna bite you in the ass. If you got a commitment, make your commitment. I've never do that, and you know, and the odds are is I might do it one more time, and I just hope it doesn't bite me in the ass. Hopefully I don't get bit in the ass like I did now, or like Scorpio got bit in the ass. But yeah, man. So like $6,000 later, I'm like, damn. And then now they're saying, well, when the permanents come in, you know, so I have a crown back here, temporary here, so I can't chew on this side. I got temporaries here, and I can't chew here, so I don't know how I'm gaining weight when I can't eat, like, but I'm getting fatter. My face is puffy. I think it's the wonton soup and stuff has so much sodium in it. I think I'm just bloating up on salt from like wonton soups and stuff like that. Like, but I can slowly eat. I think I can eat like I can eat eggs and stuff. I eat that for breakfast. It's soft. I cook some eggs, but man, I can't eat eggs for 5-6 meals. You imagine what your farts will smell like for 5-6 meals? I hate wine. It's gonna be brutal, man. I wish Nicole was here to hear that, but poor Susan will be smelling those farts, I think. But no, I'm not eating. Vegan. Can't eat that much eggs. What's that?
Time for you to become vegan.
No, that chewing on that freaking bark and everything else will rip your teeth out too, man. Like, they don't just eat rabbit food. They eat all kinds of nuts and stuff, and not nuts, but like nuts, you know, and. But maybe some vegans eat nuts. I don't know, but like not nuts. But I mean, they eat not other nuts and nuts and stuff and whatever. Did you know that beer and Oreos are vegan?
You said what, beer?
Beer. So like I thought about switching because Tostitos, the chips, Oreos, and beer were vegan, and I thought, there's my 3 main meals right there: beer and Oreos and chips, all vegan. Tostitos, all vegan. Put a little salsa on it, man. There you go. A little spicy salsa there.
Is that your cheat snack?
No, I don't have I'm not on that kind of diet. Like, I have a cheat snack. I just try to eat good, but I just can't hardly eat anything right now. I gotta figure out a new system of eating. But
I thought you were put on a diet not too long ago.
I was. I mean, just eating more meals, protein, like just chicken. I couldn't do it. It was too much food for me. Even I cut Susan. Well, Susan will prep it, but I had to cut the portions to a quarter, and I still couldn't eat all the meals. Like, I'm just too active and stuff. I think I don't eat enough is why I retain weight. And now that I'm not eating so weird with these teeth right now, it's just causing me to whole food and sodium and stuff. But when I did eat, and I tried to eat that amount, and I forced myself to eat that amount, I dropped like 10 pounds right away, and it came back, you know. So I know it does work. I have a hard time forcing myself to eat that amount of food. It's all like, you know, protein with like low rice and asparagus or some sweet potatoes and stuff like that. Eggs in the morning, but it's not bad food. I just can't eat that much food. But we're not talking about my diet and stuff like that. We're talking about, don't cancel something because it's just gonna bite you in the ass. Because So like $6,000 later is what I'm looking at right now. Possibly another 2 if I have to redo the fangs. But fangs are due for an upgrade. But I mean, I was thinking, how much longer am I gonna be wrestling? Like, could ride these old fangs out to the end, but they are looking a little grizzled up and beat up. So it might be time to join the modern vampire society and crisping up my smile and my bite a little bit. But so that's what happened there since Vegas. But I hope everybody enjoyed the interview with Sim Bodie. He's what an amazing individual he is, a talented guy. He's so smart and caring, loving, and giving. You know, he's a really good dude. So hope you got to get a little taste and see how he is and know that there's actually some sunnier side. You know, that's not always a dark side of wrestling, but there's like some really good people in professional wrestling you run across too, and he's one of them. So
Really
that was
good
great.
episode. I didn't want that one to end. You guys had so much more to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, nothing against Tom, but he wanted to promote the movie The After Dark, which we got posters here, and I think Raymond's gonna. I'm not sure what Raymond's gonna do, but he wants me to sign one of these. It's a Blu-ray. I don't have a Blu-ray in my house, so I gotta wait for it to come out in July sometime. But wants me to sign one of these and a poster, and I think he's gonna do some award giveaways for something. To go to gangrelshop.com or what is it?
Gangrelshop.com.
Oh, I got it right. Gangrelshop.com. But yeah, so if you tune in to the 100th episode of Fangin' and Bangin' with Gangrel, and then we'll have Nikki B here. Maybe we'll get her to do it, but we'll announce how you can enter to win a signed copy of the movie The After Dark by Tom Devlin with Sim Bodie and myself in it, and posters. And there'll be also some other things, a couple T-shirts, different levels, different things, but there'll be some stuff to give away. So tune in to the 100th episode of Fangin' and Bangin' with Gangrel. We'll keep you updated, and just follow the social medias, Gangrel David Heath. What is it? Fangin' and Bangin' with Gangrel on Instagram, or what is it? All that. Just check all that stuff out. And but the 100th episode, tune into that, and we'll get you sorted on that and how to go about entering and possibly winning that for yourself if that's what you're interested in. And it's cool. I don't know, Raymond, what did you think about the movie After Dark in Vegas? What would you think about Vegas? Is that your first time to Vegas or second time?
Second time.
Yeah, what'd you think?
Well, I was more so hooked on the travel schedule. I kind of felt like you, just in and out. In, straight to business, and out. In and
Just
out.
like
and you do this every weekend.
It's like all my relationships, just in and out, Raymond. In and out. Like, no, every weekend. So did you find it hard, or did you?
No. It kind of made the time go by faster.
Well,
You don't get any sleep, but
to be fair, Vegas is an easy one. It's only like 4 or 5 hours, to go in and out. Start mixing in Australia, get back, run some classes in, out, go back in, then hit Vegas right after Australia, then hit Scotland, and go back, make it every weekend, and it'll catch up to you. It does, but so you got a taste of that, huh?
yeah. And you do this not even every weekend. You start sometimes Thursday, don't get back till Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah, man. No, it's what I know. It's what I love. I'm blessed to do it, and I'm blessed that people can contact me, and couldn't do it without the fans. Again, go around the world and wrestle. I'm very blessed to do what I do. So grateful for it. But Vegas, what'd you think of the movie, Raymond?
I enjoyed it. I more so enjoyed seeing you act because I know you personally, so I could appreciate your acting skills more so. And you did really good. You and Simbodi did extremely well. You should do more.
You think Simbodi was acting? Or you think Simbodi was being Simbodi?
My first time meeting him, he seems, it's hard to read him.
He's a very nice guy. So this character,
he's nice but serious.
But the character he played was a punk rock vampire, but actually he had a heart. He actually cared about the other vampire. So it was kind of Simbodi, but then
felt
just
like
a little bit over the top with the but yeah, because he's not a party animal. I don't believe he even drinks. I don't know that he's ever did a drug in his life. But if you look at him in his character, you would think like he's doing all that kind of stuff. But he's a vampire, so I guess his drug of choice would have been blood in this. But and not by choice. I don't know if I turn him into a vampire. I get the whole storyline mixed up there, like kind of like the Brood stuff. I get mixed up. What's the real story of the Brood? What's going on? What's the real story of me and Simbodi in the After Dark? But it turns out it was really a love story. But you got to use the term actor loosely with me. Like I'm not an actor, Raymond. But I was surprised when you said that you thought that I was a good actor, because I was like, because I was terrified to do this. If you listen to the Tom Devlin interview, I'm sure we covered it in there, where I didn't expect to have that many pages of dialogue and this and that, and to pull these looks off and stuff. So when you watched it, you said you thought I was a good actor. I was flattered, but at the same time going, I don't think Raymond knows what the flip he's talking about. But you watch a lot of stuff, so
You did really good. You did good. From my perspective in the role you played, you played the role.
and you had me afraid, like, to give the movie to Susan. You go, oh, Susan's not gonna like it. And I go, why is Susan not gonna like the movie? You go, because you're a good actor. And I go, but what? I didn't do anything wrong in the movie. But you said I had you convinced that. What made you say that? Because
You ever watch?
she's listening anyway, so this is just gonna help her like prepare. For this.
You watch movies.
Yeah.
You ever get drawn into the scene and you forget you're watching a movie?
Sometimes, but the stuff that does that to me is scenes like where somebody's manipulating somebody and taking like really terrible advantage of them, and that person's getting in trouble for it. And I don't know if I just touch on an emotional level there, and then I kind of forget. Other than that, I'm always trying to figure out the plot. I'm too busy working trying to figure out where it's going.
So now you played your role extremely well, and so it's safe to say Susan still hasn't seen the movie, so you still don't see my point of view. But I think she'll like it. But I think
Well, what was my role?
kind of what you explained earlier.
Creepy ass vampire?
Creepy vampire, just taking advantage, like
A manipulating, controlling older vampire.
it might have even been a pimp slap in there.
It might have been. Yeah, but you have to check it out. The After Dark. It's a Tom Devlin production, right? And you can check out his Monster Museum. You can check out episode 98. You could go back from this one and go back and check out the interview with him on 98 and hear more about the After Dark. Episode 97 with Simbodi. You could check that out. You can go back there. You could learn about how he blew my chest up with firecrackers and Michael Jackson knife fight, which was a type of wrestling match. So that was a very cool episode 97. Like Raymond said, he could have listened to us talk. Well, I could have talked to Nick Simbodi for hours. We had to cut ourselves off because we actually had to go to the blood red carpet premiere, or we were going to be late. And I had to shower my nasty rear end because I was feeling a little jet ass and swamp ass from the airplanes and walking around Vegas that little bit. And,
that's another perspective that the fans got to see on the premiere because it's dropping before this episode. I got to see that you never have a break. So many people come up to you, from the actors to old friends to fans, and they don't just come up to you for a picture. They have conversations with you. So here you are working, and you have to engage, not have to, but you do engage in these conversations with people you've never met, and they're talking to you like you guys have been friends for years. Like, how do you, I know you appreciate it, but like the pros and cons of that.
Sometimes, Raymond, I don't even know who the hell I'm talking to. I'll be like, let me going on. I'll be like, I'll be in such a panic mode in my head. Like, I'll be like, you remember like in 1998, like, I'm like, shit, man, I was on and drinking and taking a lot of shit. I'm like, no. Sometimes I am a little lost. I recognize voices before faces. So as they talk to me, I'll hear something in their dialect or a wording from that event they're talking about, and I'll go, and it does come back to me. But usually in the first minute of that conversation, I am lost, like, going, who the hell and what the hell? And as I listen, because I try to let them talk so I could filter out, but I'm not, and like, yeah. And it does feel sometimes like you're constantly busy, but imagine if you weren't. Imagine if nobody talked to you. Imagine if nobody asked you for a picture, or nobody wanted to share a good memory they had with you. Maybe what if it was all bad and they come up, you're an asshole, man, you suck, or they don't talk to you at all, or they flip you off across the room, like, So I'm very blessed. So I tend not to let it bother me. But as you've seen, my I have a hard time standing for really long periods of times after long flights and stuff. So like if I walk, so my back, pin upon my knee and my back, how I'm shifting my weight. If the knees bother me, then I'll shift the weight on my back, and then my back will start bothering me. Then I got to hobble on both sides. And so sometimes that will draw me a little shorter on patience than talking to people, and you'll see me kind of take a exit stage left over and find somewhere to sit down. But then I'll still talk to them once I can go sit down, because then I'm not as in much pain, and I can literally honestly listen to the story and try to figure out where I know him from. But when I'm standing there and I'm like, oh God, all I'm thinking in my head is like, God, I gotta sit down. My ass hurts, or my knees driving me nuts. But I don't know what I was doing. I was struggling out in Vegas for some reason with my back and knee that trip, more than I have any. I think that's the most you've ever seen me limp, right?
Yeah.
I don't know why I was hurting so much out there.
Oh, because you just came off of
from Australia, right?
Yeah,
I just came back from Australia, came home, taught classes, and then
Baseball
flew right
game.
back out, and then flew right back in and taught class. Yeah, you're right. So, yeah, I think it was that, but like I feel good today. I felt pretty good all week, and besides the teeth and stuff like that. But yeah, you are busy, but Raymond, that's part of it. That's I hear stories of wrestlers or even entertainers or football players or athletes where they're really shitty to people. Like, I get it. You don't feel like you have any free time, right? You feel like, I got to be at practice and I got to train and I got a coach on me and then I got to make this system happy and I got to make the guy that's actually paying me besides the coach happy, or and I have this commitment here and my flight was delayed here and I still got this in my life to do here and I got that, and you start thinking like you don't have any time for yourself. But man, you got to know going into this what you're in for if this is what you chose to do. If you want to be at the top of your game, you want the whole world to shout your name, and you want to be in the bright lights on the top of a marquee, you better accept that responsibility that people are going to want to talk to you. They're going to want to meet you. They're going to want to take pictures with you.
Never off the clock.
I mean, that's the life you chose. And trust me, when that all settles, maybe there's few that makes a lot of money and they just are really antisocial. You will miss that. But a guy coming up to me, Raymond, for example, and going, Gangrel, hey, remember this, right? And we're talking, and you've seen that, right? And we talk, right? And then I'm like, yeah, boom, 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 and I'm nice, and whatever, cordial. We go through it, we take pictures, we go. That might have just been one of many moments in my day, or something. But that might have been a moment of a lifetime for him, or the second moment, or the first time, to come back and tell that story. So for me, what is casual, and you say that I never ending, and people coming up and talking to you, I got to rewind myself. If I ever do feel tired, or ever do feel cranky, or ever feel like I'm or if I'm underappreciating, I got to realize and go back and go, that dude's like, he's coming up telling me I'm his favorite wrestler. This is a moment, a memory for a lifetime. I'm creating a moment and a memory for him to last forever. So I want it to be in a positive sense, not a negative sense. I want him to go up and go, finally met my favorite wrestler, and he was the biggest asshole in the world, kind of like me and Ric Flair, right? You know what I mean? Like, or something. You don't want, who am I to like just snatch all that moment away from them, man? I might have opportunity to have great moments. I travel the world. I see things that nobody's can see. The average person, anybody can see anything they want to see if they apply their mind to it and put work in. But travel the world. You travel the world. You see things. But I travel and do it so much I could take it for granted. But I got to realize that is a moment of a lifetime for that person. They're not gonna have these opportunities. There's nobody over there. I'm just talking at a point where you're looking over. It's that might be his moment. Like if I truly was his favorite wrestler. That's a big thing for him, which is just another hour and a minute in the day for me, but I enjoy it and I'm flattered by it. But it means weighs way more on him. It means way more to him than it does to me. And who am I to make that a negative experience? It takes me all of a minute in my life to go, hey, great to meet you, smile, take a picture, man, thank you so much, and thanks for saying that to me, because it does flatter. It is flattering to me. It is flattering. 30 years off TV, and they still come up and talk about that short period or that little bit of run and how much that's impacted their life. It is very flattering and very humbling to me. I'm very humbled by it. So if I have that power, I need to realize I have that power, and I need to use it in a good way, not a negative way, and share it in a positive way with that person so he has a great experience when he walks away from that, and a memory that lasts him. Carry him on. Who knows what's going on in their life, her life, his life, the little kids, the family's life. Your smile can make or break somebody's life. Really? I mean, I don't mean to be that dramatic, but who knows what's really going on?
One of the lessons I took from you, like, you don't take even the smallest thing for granted. I noticed that with you. You don't have a big head about yourself. Even though you are this grand person, you're always humble with everything you do.
And I'm very blessed. But if you listen to me teach, it might not sound like that when you come in there. But I'm just preparing you for the industry, the world, and life. You know, somebody's got to be a little.
I've been a student of yours, but nothing you say ends on the period of what you're saying never ends on a negative. It's a reason you're telling us that. So I mean, if the student is in the right head of mind, they know you're only saying this for the greater good, obviously, or they wouldn't keep coming back.
Yeah, but sometimes they're not in the right head of mind, and then you got to rewind yourself and go follow up and make phone calls, come back and try to figure out why they're not in the right frame of mind and get them on the right track. You know, if you can, and that's a lot of this falls to why I'm gonna be out there. This won't air by then, but we'll probably already. I've done this by then, but the mental health walk with
we'll be
Domino, one of the wrestlers, Domino, Adrian Castro. He's a big advocate of that, and I believe in it from Luna. If you saw the many faces of Luna, you'd understand schizophrenia, bipolar, and there's a lot of uncontrollable things and chemical imbalances that go on in people's brains and bodies and stuff like that. So, going to be at the mental health walk at the Miami Zoo. What is the date on that? May 18th, I think.
May 18th, yeah.
May 18th at 8 a.m. in the morning at the zoo out there. It's the same place that Anna Diaz and Susan had one of the Miami Epilepsy Walk, you know, for epilepsy awareness. I'm surprised you didn't go to that one, but you went to the boardwalk. You've been to the Hollywood one, the Broward one. But yeah, I'm going to go out there, and not that I could walk that 5 miles that I'll probably go around and have a Diet Coke or some BCAAs or some kind of drink and hydrate, because I got a show at Tripping Animal Brewery that night, Saturday night. And then, so that's a very hot venue, no air in the locker room. So it's a little cooler where the crowds are. But so it's going to be a hot day in Miami all morning. I'll probably go have lunch somewhere and hydrate the hell out of myself, go to that brewery, work, and then this Sunday, which I'm sure this will air after all this, be a BRCW, Boca Raton Championship Wrestling, where I tag with Lakai, taking on the Islanders, I believe they're called. I think they're the champions of BRCW. So you know, got a weekend, you know, good weekend, positive weekend. I was supposed to do Homestead tonight, but I'm not gonna get out there. I'm gonna let these stitches heal, and you know, I'm actually gonna take a night off. Wasn't scheduled on it. I was gonna be an add-on, but I think I'm just gonna sit home and watch some bad TV, catch up on a little wrestling tonight. You know,
I got some stuff I'm gonna send you.
Yeah, you got some stuff you're gonna send me.
Keep you entertained.
I might catch up on some WWE and AEW and New Japan. I don't know. I say that, but I'll probably get home and fall asleep because I never get time to sleep. Usually when I say I'm going to catch up and watch bad TV, that results in me sitting there with an ice pack on my knee and a remote in my hand, and then Susan coming in going, "Are you going to go to bed?" Like, oh, yeah. Because I'm out there drooling on myself sleeping. So, but I don't know. So I'm going to try to do that tonight, but we'll see. But so what else you got? We have a format today? Or I didn't even know where we're at on time. I've been rambling. Who knows how long I've rambled there.
All right, so I guess we're moving on to some more wrestling.
We're moving on. All right, so you got some topics you want to go over today?
Of course.
After I talked about myself for 40 minutes. But
hey, this is your home. This is your podcast. This is where people come.
I don't know if they want to hear all that, but they're mostly crying and whining about my tooth and whatnot.
If you see the comments, which you do most of the time, most people, they love the stories about you. They love stories about you. But moving on about somebody, I don't think we really even covered him on this podcast much. But Kofi Kingston.
What's up, Kofi? Yeah, what's up with Kofi?
So he was on.
I haven't watched much wrestling. I say that every time, and I'm almost embarrassing myself to be a professional wrestler, not doing my own homework watching wrestling. But I'm so busy doing it. Like,
it's wrestling related, but not storyline so much related. He did a podcast.
He's got a podcast. Cool.
No, he
did a podcast.
Yeah, he did a podcast. Come on, this one. So he's talking
like
about
everybody's got a podcast, though, you know.
Yeah,
I realize it. Even I have one. So if I have one, everybody else, I'm sure the dude is the janitor in my building has a podcast too.
See, but the difference between
on what chemicals
this
you
podcast,
use to clean the toilet and everything.
Some of those podcasts are like the Channel 7 News. Just cover recaps of news. This is unique. Got stories, some unique stuff. Cool. We go everywhere. Aliens.
Don't even start with the aliens in Las Vegas you were trying to tell me about.
I'll wait till Nicole's here so we can develop.
You're gonna wait till Nicole, because I think it has something to do with that crap you gave me that made my feet numb right now. It gave me a headache. My feet are numb. Are you sure you're not poisoning me?
It might be those shoes, bro. It might
No,
be.
my shoes are nice, man.
Everybody's probably
I
detoxing.
don't even make. I can't even find them in Nike anymore, man. My Prestos.
probably a
I
reason
like my
why.
Prestos.
It's probably the reason why.
Not a reason why. Everybody likes Prestos. Go on, though. All right, go on.
All right, so he talks about
Oh, see how your head's moving over there? Y'all
No.
can't see him, but his head's spinning all around. Like, that's that shit he's on. That.
TikTok.
I mean, the worst thing I'm on is some McDonald's sweet tea.
Now, all right, so you often talk about
Sugar
this.
in there is heavy, boy. Whew. Go on now. I'm sorry.
You often talk about this. You're obviously a coach. You're on every side of the wrestling.
This is Kofi Kingston. We're still talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
Okay.
You know, you're in the ring. You're on the other side of the ring. You're behind the curtain. So he just talks about the most important element of wrestling. So he's going back to, I guess he's saying the WWE, they're getting back into one of the most important elements of wrestling, which is storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
So
You don't like storytelling?
no, I don't have a problem with
I'm
storytelling.
sure you watch the Days of Our Lives, and as the world turns, the General Hospital
what's
you was a
that?
little kid.
I don't
You
watch those
that?
sitcoms.
Everybody watch the stories.
Not by choice.
Those sitcom stories.
I hate them.
Soap operas.
I don't know how they find the
Tell a
time.
story. All right, go on.
Yeah. All right. So Kofi Kingston, he gives his perspective on why storytelling and attention to detail is the most significant part of wrestling. So, I had my personal experience with that. When I was wrestling and training with you, like most people, we just see a match, but you pay attention to every little detail, like who gets touched or who does this finish or who. Like you like a long term storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess he reflects that to the Cody Rhodes storyline and how it meant so much when he won the belt, because it wasn't
It's a connection there.
yeah, it took a year for him to get it. He fought through, and so I just wanted to like get your opinion on. You don't watch it, but you still can keep up with the stories, even though you don't watch it every week, because how WWE like.
Well, they package things where if you put on a pay-per-view they'll show you all the promo packages leading up to that. They're really good at like putting a story together so you can follow things and get behind it, or at least think you know what's going on with something. No, I mean, there's wrestling. People like have great wrestling matches. Some like Japan, AEW, different things they focus on. Even WCW sort of at one point focused on just having better matches. Like a quality of matches and wrestling, focused on wrestling. And there's when WWE they really focus a lot on storytelling and telling stories. And I think people want to be able to connect with something. Everybody sitting at home in their world, like whether they're a lawyer or a doctor, or they're pumping gas at a gas station, or digging a ditch, or a heavy equipment operator, or a waitress, or a waiter, whatever, they got their lives, but there's something with each character and a person that somebody can connect with, and then with stories, somebody can always find something to relate to in that story, or even they can forget about their life for a while and immerse themselves into your storyline and forget about, like, man, I gotta be in at 7 a.m. and work a 10-hour shift. I think when you put on wrestling, you want to be able to forget about all that for a while. So with the storytelling and different things and characters, there's things that connect with them that they can relate to and understand in life. But there's also, they want to be able to forget about their life too, because they're like looking at us, professional wrestlers and entertainers. They're looking up at you, and the stage is higher, the ring's up, you got oil on it. They're looking at it. It's just presented in a certain way that it's like going exactly to a movie. You asked me to go to a movie that I ever forget and start believing into that character, right? You just said it yourself. It goes right back to storytelling when you were asking me about the movie. They want to forget about their life, or they want to believe in that character, or they want to get behind him, or they want to hate this guy, or whatever. Whatever it does, it takes them out of their every ordinary day life, and it gives them something they can focus on, forget about their troubles. Their life might not even be bad, but they just want to have a little break, or they want to connect, or they can connect with Stone Cold because he's an anti-establishment, going to flip the boss off and kick everybody's ass, or there's the Undertaker. There's the people that like the horror and the mystique and the darkness, they associate him, but then then they would have stories like the corporate ministry and stuff like that. And then, it's just, so it's a variety of things. They either want to be able to forget about what's going on in their world and immerse yourself in yours. And throughout all that, you want to be able to touch and pull their emotions and relate to them through characters. They want to be able to relate to certain characters, this and this and that. So it's all very important. The devil's in the details. All the little things, like when you did the unled thing, right? The unled, you probably thought it was crazy, but I'd want you to go out and leave a mask, and the people want to get into it to see, don't put the mask on or put a mask on. If you put the mask on, you would go to the group or what's going on. It's giving them something to watch and just forget about what's going on in this world for a while. The world's fucking crazy out there, man. There's people dropping bombs on each other. Countries are fighting on the brink of a world war constantly. People are unfortunately saddened going in and shooting in schools and public places and concerts. There's so much negative going on in the world. They want to be able to just block that out, man, and enjoy something, forget about it for a while. And they got to be able to connect through the characters and the storylines to be able to immerse yourself in it. And, so that's why I think it's important. But some people do that with wrestling. So it doesn't have to always be storyline and driven, but I think that is the more powerful route and the more productive route for me, as I see it. But some people get into a really good wrestling match too, but they still connect with that character somehow. Like his moves, they see themselves as that person, or they could do that, or that superhero type of character. But yeah, storytelling and details are very, very important, I believe, and I'll always believe that. I still teach that.
Yeah, going back to the unled thing, I think that's one of your talents that you don't exercise enough. Like, you're extremely creative. Like I think you've even talked about writing an entire movie script from a dream before. But just how you even just how simply it felt simply to me, how strategic you put together the unled script, or a lot of things you work on behind the scenes. Like, it's.
People didn't realize when I was doing that, when I had my own stuff, much like the bigger companies like WWE and other places, storylines were like 4 months, 5 months out. That's why I would get upset when somebody would cancel or no show. But I always had a plan B and C too. I made everything where people could float in or out, and I thought I knew what I was doing. You say that I did. That was creative. I might have had a creative mind, and this person has always told me I had a creative mind. Kevin Sullivan has always said, "Man, you're ahead of your time with your characters, and this and this and that." But as I put all that and did all these shows, what I realized is that I was just very lucky. I was repeating things that I watched. But yeah, I had the creativity, but the way I was structuring and running the matches and the shows itself, I had really no clue. I was just doing what I've seen in history and time. But the creativity was mine. But then I worked with Kevin Sullivan on the CWF stuff, and then on another level of booking and why and how to use guys and when to build this guy and that guy, I realized how lucky I had just been, that I was just always getting the shit right, but I didn't really understand it until I worked with him, and he gave me a whole other insight. Probably like you taking your gold flake drops and you're thinking your third eye is opening. But my third eye opened with his knowledge of that on top.
It's good that you learned it, but that's where we step into clairvoyance. How your subconscious, you just knew how to do all these things correctly. So even though consciously you didn't know what you were doing, your subconscious, which takes in information that we don't comprehend, you were still able to put that together perfectly, because subconsciously, I guess, being around the wrestling industry for so long, it just worked out because your subconscious, you just knew what to do without knowing what to do, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like being instinctive.
That shit he's on over there, right? No, I get what you're saying. Yes, 100%. But then when I spent a month with him as he wrote shows and the stuff I did, I looked at it before he went that direction. I'd already decided that, that's what I would have done. But then when he explained it to me, I never looked at it in the way he was looking at it. So he gave me a whole other perspective that I thought, like, fuck, I don't know shit. On that level, and his older school on a deeper level. Like, some of his stuff's deeper, but they did merge and meshed well. And so, yeah. Storytelling, details, all very important, very important.
You don't want to get into that some way of exercising that with your own films or producing for a wrestling company or something?
Like
or books,
you
comics?
mentioned, you said I wrote a whole movie from a dream. I did. I woke up one time, and an hour and a half, 2 hours, I sat down and wrote a whole dream out. It was so many twists and plots, and I gave it to a guy in L.A. and he goes, "Man, you need to write this into a treatment," because I was like reading my chicken scratch, and I explained the whole movie to him, and he goes, "This is really good." And then it just got lost in one of my many ideas. I never wrote a treatment. I was like thinking to myself, instead of going, "Hey, what's a treatment?" I left. I went, yeah. And when I left her, I went, "What the hell's a treatment?" And so I didn't look it up or anything. And it just fell, a project in the wayside. Another one of my buddies I was just talking to, he said, the other guy's going to be getting signed on to some producing stuff. He says, he's coming back to you because he wants to do a couple of your ideas you had. And I'm like, "What ideas?" I'm like, "Oh, shit." What ideas did I have? I don't remember my ideas because I don't write them down. I'll have all these things. I'll pitch stuff to people. They remember them, but they'll come back to me if he tells me which ones it was. But I had pitched like 3 different crazy TV shows to him. But now he's sliding into a spot that he has power. And I might be able to do one of these TV shows, but I don't know which TV show I told him that he likes. But I think I know. But I don't know if I want to say it out here on it. But
Yeah.
it'll be a cool.
I think you should start exercising that gift, that talent.
Maybe I can't wrestle forever. If you see me walking in airports, you'll be like, "Damn!" I know I scare promoters when I get off the plane. They're like, "Holy crap! Is this guy?" And then I get in the ring and they're okay. They're, "Oh, we thought you did great."
It's 2024. You should just hit the memo on your phone and just audio record it, and you can write it down in the future.
I don't even know how to do that on my phone, Raymond. I didn't even know I had the app for this channel on my phone. I almost erased that the other day. I wasn't joking when you said you got the app right. I go, "I'm glad you said that," because I was getting ready to erase that app. I had no idea what that was. So yeah, man. But Kofi's a great guy, and I'm glad to see he's still doing what he's doing, man. He deserves everything he's getting. He seems so small now. It looks like he's gotten smaller and smaller. I guess healthier with time, but hopefully he's all right. I think he is. He looks maybe he's just healthy now. Maybe he's just doing all the right things. But yeah, he's great, and it is important. Storytelling is very important. People got to be able to connect with it. They got to want to watch it, and they want to be able to forget about what's going on in their world, at least for an hour. Like when I go watch movies, I want to watch something that's going to make me not think about like the flight I got to catch, or the disappointment I didn't make, or I got to go book, or whatever went wrong, or I just want to be able to go forget about something and decompress. When I traveled with Eddie Guerrero for a while, I would travel with him and Chris Benoit, but I couldn't afford the hotels they stayed at. Their contract was way better than mine. Like I was on a Holiday Inn at the most budget, contract, where they were at Marriott's and stuff every night. And I don't even know if maybe their rooms were getting paid for in their deal. I have no idea, but I didn't want to travel with them. But they said, "Oh wait, we'll just split rooms each night." So, and as much as I don't like sharing rooms, I did with them. So one night I would stay with Chris, and one night I would stay with Eddie. And when I would stay with Eddie, what we had in common is we both, and sometimes we'd watch a movie that we've seen over and over and over again, but that movie somehow would take us out of thinking about the anxieties of our life, the deadlines and the places we got to be. And because it's really hard to shut down after a match, or really hard to shut down after a pay-per-view, or really hard to shut down after something that might have went wrong, and you're trying to figure out why it went wrong, or to come down after something that went amazingly right and not go to a bar and chase a negative. Like when I tell people, like Nicole debuted, right? We don't know this. Nikki B debuted. We missed it.
Yeah.
I was on the road. I was in Scotland, or I was somewhere, and you didn't know, because I didn't know she was gonna do it. Right? It was just a last minute thing. She's now welcome to wrestling, Nikki. She's not managing, but she's seconding Ruthie J, another one I trained, Ruthie J. No, Ruthie, you know Ruthie.
Yeah.
So Nicole's like a bodyguard type of thing. So she debuted. But when she wrote me, wherever I was in the world, I don't know if I was in Scotland or if I was up there doing that Michigan show, I said, "Listen," she was doing it at the brewery for CCW in Hialeah there, the unbranded brewery, which that crowd is crazy hot. It's like an old ECW crowd, kind of like it's that loud and intense. And I said, "You're not going to experience, there's no drug you've ever done. There's no alcohol you've ever drank, and there's nothing that's going to match that high you're going to feel when this happens. Because that crowd's hot, and if everything goes right, that high she's going to feel." I said, the first hit of cocaine, your first drink of alcohol, whatever people are addicted to, like that high. There's not going to be any high more than that debut she did with wrestling and the peak in the spot she was in that type of match where she was. No, it wasn't WrestleMania, and this and that, but that first high, that first involvement in front of that crowd, and it's a very, very hot crowd, 800-900 people jammed in there, out of their minds, drinking and loud, and what my advice to her was, listen, you're going to feel such a high when you leave there. You're going to want to go and try to maintain that high and chase that high. You might go out and want to drink or do something or this and that and that. I said, don't go out and cancel out a good high with a negative high, because then it's going to take away from that. And the drinking or this, something's going to happen or whatever, or you're going to feel like crap the next day, because you're never going to be able to obtain that high. You're not going to, there's no alcohol, no cocaine, nothing's going to make you feel as high as professional wrestling can. And nothing will make you feel as low as professional wrestling can. And I think we went over this a few episodes back, right? It's an incredible feeling. So I told her, be careful. Just try to enjoy that high. Ride off that high. Remember that high. Don't go out there and cancel it out with another negative high and keep chasing other highs. You know what I mean? Just work on wrestling and know that, you could have maybe reach an equal amount of high as you apply yourself throughout the wrestling world. But just don't go doing it with negatives. So, Eddie and myself, we would do things with negatives, alcohol and drugs, right? So we'd both, at movies, we would go and escape. That would take us down. We'd go and transfer, this moment, and get into a movie or a character. And like you said, we'd watch something and come down from the day or forget about how bad a day went or come down from the good high without doing a negative high, chasing a negative thing like alcohol or cocaine or pills or substance abuse, right? Because it's so easy to do. It's there. People want to hand it to you and everything else. So, I think that's our world, right? So wrestling, and we're trying to figure it out there with the people. And this is going back to Kofi and the storytelling, this and that. What I believe that they're having a day like that too, and they want to be able to forget about something. They want to forget about their day at work or their boss giving them shit, or maybe they had I don't know if they could compare their good high to going to a movie like what we would do to come down, not chasing a negative. But I don't know. But I think it helps. It's just an escape from reality. Professional wrestling, to a lot of the world, a majority of the world, is an escape from reality. Movies are escape from my reality. Professional wrestling, I can always say, my reality is your nightmares. You know what I mean? You could go on with all this stuff. We can go back and forth. I can go back and forth trying to explain it, but not really going to explain it. If you know it, you know it. If you know what I'm talking about, you get it. You know what I mean?
So, going back to that, like how you were saying, getting lost into it, I did want to ask, because you've been on both spectrums. You've been in matches where it's just a last minute thing and there's no story behind it. Then you've been in matches where there's been build-ups and stories behind it. Is there a different type of energy when you're in the ring?
You can feel it. You feel it. Like when there's, if Cody Rhodes would go out, came back and just beat somebody, there's one. But he had such a journey. He went to AEW, back. There was so much build up that itself is part of the story. Started there, went there, and come back. If he just rolled in and beat somebody, yeah, they roar. But when people are emotionally connected to your journey and your story, that's So like if I was going out sneaking, and this has happened, like going out the back door trying to leave early, and they go, oh no, you got a match with Godfather or something, like, because somebody, a fellow Champagne got kicked out. Whatever for reason, he was supposed to wrestle the Godfather. They kicked him out of the gorilla position, and they grabbed me. And good thing I was leaving in my gear, so they didn't think I didn't get busted for like trying to sneak out of TV early. So I had to run in, and I wrestled Godfather, and it was loud, and this and this and that. And boom, he hit me the whole train, 1, 2, 3. And the people, he's over, right? But then when it did little, and this is on a minimal level. This is a very minimal level. This isn't a long-term, in-depth story. Build-up, 3-month WrestleMania build-up. Did a thing where like Luna was one of the Godfather hosts because she was trying to get something to vote for whatever to be in this bathing suit contest, whatever it was. But there was something to it. Then when I wrestled him, it was a bigger and more connected response, So, and that's on a low level, but like when I turned on Edge, the build up there, I turned on him.
That was a huge pop.
Yeah, yes, of course. So there's emotions and they're connected to it, and they've been watching it and waiting to see how it's gonna turn out, or it's gonna evolve, or what's gonna happen, or what's not gonna happen. Just like soap operas, you know. Like, my favorite is like the Mexican soap operas on like Telemundo and stuff, or on the Spanish channels. They always leave me hanging. I watch them. Whoa, they go to a commercial. I'm like, oh, there's the drug cartel guy gotta come marry the mistress and kill her husband. I don't know. I'm waiting. So stories, you know, people connect the stories. They want to forget about what's going on in their world. And you got to be able to, you have to have a story. You got to be a character. There's got to be something about you that they connect with or they can relate with, and your story. And they just forget. If they escape reality for a while, Raymond, why are we still going on about this?
Was that the last minute? Was that the last minute? Because since we're in stories now, I want to kind of get behind the curtain. Was that a last minute thing, like you turning on edge, or were they nervous about how the fans would
it was
react?
gonna come. It had to come at some point. They wanted to get Edge out of there. To do his own thing, and then he went on to do it with him and Christian. But it was just a build up. They needed to get him out of that group. They wanted to break the group up, and then that's the way it went. But I had that happened later. It pushed him down a pit of fire. There's a lot of little things too. Yeah, with the elevator where we come up, the flames are going.
There's so much brutal history that we haven't even talked. We always talk about how short it was, but every time you come on here, I learn something new that I thought I knew everything. I didn't know anything about you pushing him down.
There's a card with a ring of fire. You see me turning it. There's always these memes saying Gangrel, just say Taco Bell. But what I had just did was threw Edge down a hole, a flame of fire, you know, a pit of fire, right? All right. Well, I'm sure we're out of time, man. So I'm gonna take it home and wrap it up. You got me confused. You got my mind. You got the stuff you're giving me's got my feet numb, my head spinning, and a headache, and I hear thunder outside the studio. So I get a little jumpy when I know there's lightning out there, and I got to go back out into it. So everybody, come on, tune into episode 100. This is episode 99. 100, you can learn how to enter gangrelshop.com or whatever. Raymond or Nicole, Nikki B, will explain all that to maybe get a signed DVD, Blu-ray, or the After Dark, a poster, a couple T-shirts, and whatnot. There'll be different things. So looking forward to it. Thank you again for all your support. Please like, subscribe, do whatever you're supposed to do. Did you hear all these other podcasts say? Do it, please. Thank you. I want some. Get something bad enough. Subscribe some, like some, you know. Do it. And Raymond, thank you. Thank you for having me in the studio today. And thank you all for joining us here. Episode 99 of Fang Bang with Gangrel. Sherry Ray and the Missing Nikki B. She'll be back. 100. See y'all.